to two separate things at the same time. Hopefully it will. Which, if it does, I will be streaming. Okay, I can close Facebook down. Let me hit broadcasting again. See if it'll let me hook to two. Or if it just shuts it down. Continue using free version. Okay. So it's just going to shut it down. That is fine. Because I am just going over here. No, I don't want YouTube. Here we go. I want to be able to see comments and stuff, so I am hypnotic. Nice. All right. Turn my camera on here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I got like a 6-second delay, it looks like, with YouTube here. What I got going on over here? Hi, Instagram. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I've got a huge tripod right in front of me. Got it at a yard sale, $5. I like it because it turn my camera around here. It's one of the ones that has like the selfie light thing on the top, which I mean I don't need that. I just like the setup of this itself. Like this moves wherever I need it. Which is fantastic. I know Instagram, you guys can't see what I'm doing. You're just seeing the phone move a lot right now. Up, down. Oh. This isn't doing the way I want it to do. Let me see here. Maybe we'll get this, people. My phone's plugged in charging, so this is what I've got it on. And pause music. Because the first thing we are doing is I got a video completely edited yesterday. I have my final run through of it. So just to make sure everything is how I need it to be, I added music to it, and now our final watch, which I will full screen this. And you guys are getting a big glare of me. So Insta, let me switch my light source and see if that helps. No, I'm just going to have glare. Okay. Play. Okay, and then I gotta make sure I've got enough time for people to kind of read over. Yep.
In this video, we will be doing a 2-collared plaid block. You can do this project on any half-inch gauge loom with at least 50 pegs. I am using Lions brand yarn, Vanna's Choice, and Sea Glass and Dusty Blue. This is a number 4 worsted weight yarn with 273 yards in each skein. This is wrote out 2 different ways for you to read. You can individual rows wrote out right here.
I'm doing a run through of a video before I post it.
Through 18, and you can just tally those off as you go. Or there is a chart back here. Now for the chart, if it is an empty square, that is a knit stitch. If it is a square with a dot in it, that is a purl stitch. Now this area right here, we are working with 2 different collars. So that's what those represent. So if you're following this, you would work row 1 through 6, and then 7 through 18 gets repeated. So that's why this is highlighted. You just repeat it as needed. We're going to go ahead and mark the pegs on the loom to help us follow the chart a little easier, which here is the version. This isn't the final version. You guys saw that at the beginning. This is just the version I'm using on here. Now your highlighted pegs this way.
Stamps.
These are the actual pegs on the loom. So here we go. We got peg 1 marked, and then we got peg 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we got peg 7, peg 12, 17, 22, 27, 32, 37, and my stitch marker for peg 41 has fallen off. But that's those. And that just really helps. That helps so much because you're going to know that, okay, this first one here, that's row 7. I know that this is in. I know this starts. I know I switch here. I'm going to start with a slip knot.
Right.
Take
trying
that
to get a good
working tail, that working yarn tail, and put it over top the working yarn itself and pull that through. You've just created a slip knot. You're going to take your working yarn and put it behind your first peg.
This is being streamed live on Instagram and YouTube right now.
I have my finger on there just to keep it from popping off. See how it tightens up real weird? That first one always does, but that's okay. You take that tail and put it back there and then tighten it up.
Instagram, I think I can do a better view for you guys.
New loop, both strands of the new loop behind the next peg. Working yarn through the loop.
Is that better? I think that's better.
Peg, working yarn through the loop. Cast on 47 pegs.
Really, this should be a walkthrough. I shouldn't have to do any of much editing. This right here, it will be smooth when the video is posted on YouTube. It's
put that loop on the very last
how the app works.
The first 6 rows are what we call garter stitch. 1 row of knit stitch, 1 row of purl stitch, 1 row of knit stitch, 1 row of purl stitch. You do that back and forth, and that gives you your garter stitch, which is this nice edge here. Go ahead and show you how to do your knit and your purl stitch. Of course, row 1 is knit. You can use any form of the knit stitch that you would like. You can use the flat stitch, U-stitch, true knit stitch, even the E-wrap stitch. The E-wrap stitch isn't as nice and neat, and it's a lot larger, so you're gauging, you'll want to completely gauge again if you want to use the E-wrap stitch and still get a 12 by 12 square. I prefer the U-stitch around the front and the back, like a U. So that's your U-stitch around the front, around the back. I forgot to mention, the first peg of every row you will skip. It's called slipping the stitch. The reason we are doing that, I will explain in a moment, but you always skip the first stitch of every row. That's the peg the working yarn is coming from.
Yeah, it's frustrating that the app doesn't play the little clips where I've sped up the timing like correctly. It's real jerky, but once it processes it and I get it to YouTube, that smooths out.
When you're back to that first peg, instead of wrapping it like this in a U-stitch the same way, I'm going behind and around the front. I'm going to knit that over and then I will explain why.
All right. My screen saver
This is to help
keeps
create
coming
a
on.
nice edge. If you wrap it around the front of the peg and in the back, if you wrapped it around the front and the back like that, and then when you went to do your next round or your next row, see that crosses, that twist the stitch right there, and those ones will turn out like that, which is fine. You have one leg a little longer. If you do it the way that I did,
18-minute video. 12 minutes left.
like this, a little more symmetrical. But that's, either way is perfectly fine. We're going to be joining these sides together. You're not going to notice any small little difference there. Now you got to remember, do the same thing with the last peg of every row as well. You don't want, kind of like mock, do it over here.
Yeah, I'll make it screen.
Assume our working yarn is coming from this peg.
All right.
But instead of going behind and around the front like you do on the first one, so your working yarn is right here. So you're going around the front to the back. I think of it as like a circle. Like a circle. I'm going around the front to the back, and this one I'm going around the back to the front. But in doing it that way, it looks like you're not, like you're still crossing it, but once these are knit over the way the stitch works, it's not. But if you see, if you did it from the back and around, then it does cross it before you knit it over. Either way is fine. I just wanted to show you guys how both of those ways worked. For the same reason, we slip the first stitch of every row. That's going to be the row, that's going to be the peg the yarn is coming from, because look at this. If we rewrap this peg, we'll end up with kind of like a knot at the end.
Oh, it's
so to avoid that,
frustrating.
I just skip that peg and go on.
Skip it.
Show you guys how to do the purl stitch.
Oh, I made myself some hot green tea before I started editing. It is so nice.
Working yarn down.
TikTok, I want to show you my awesome mug.
The stitch on the peg. Loom tool down through the Loom tool down through the top of the stitch on the peg. You're going to grab that and pull it up. You've just created a new stitch here. And take that old one off and put the new one on.
I like this background music. What do you guys think? It's peppy. I want the music to be some kind of happy and exciting. Not necessarily exciting.
Go ahead and work up your first 6 rows. I will come back and work rows 7 and 8 with you. I worked up the first 90 rows of this.
See, it's got a lag.
Plaid. That puts me on row 91, but it's the same as row 7. So I'm going to work row 7 and 8, 91 and 92 with you. So you can kind of see how I switch these collars back and forth. So we are here at row 7. Your working yarn should be coming from peg 47. You'll be working from 47 back to 1. Working yarn is coming from peg 47. Coming from peg 47, so we skip peg 47 and we knit 2, I think 5, so 3, 4, 5 pegs. Now the 6th one, I move so you can kind of see. We are right here. So we're going to switch, 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 switch. Over these 5, we'll have 3 of that lighter color. So we got this color. I'm going to do that in front. There's 1.
And how much time?
2.
All right, 7 minutes left in it. So far, everything's good.
3.
And it will take forever to
4.
upload, of course. But I can go live on YouTube while this is uploading on.
So these 5 stitches are all going to be this collar here. We can take and work it to where we twist that white with it in between each one. I said white, it's a green.
There's a lag in my processing software here. So you'll see it's like freezing up where I changed the speed of clips, but once this is just my final run through of the video before I download it and upload it.
You don't end up with
it'll be smooth on YouTube.
But it does show through easier. See, that's where I twisted that. Now the other way you can do that, see where I'm at here. All right. I really try to explain it's
changing your collars in different ways for you guys.
Green, blue, green. So you're going to have 3 of the green and 2 of the blue. It'll be matching just like here. See, green, blue, green, blue, green. And then blue, 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 blue. Green, blue, green, blue, green. Blue, 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 blue.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's twisted a whole bunch in the one direction. So I'm actually going to untwist these as I go. See, because you can wrap it
my camera is like 18 years old that I use,
and then knit over.
But man, it still does good videos. Like, it's held up. What's an HD camera I got when a Circuit City was closing down.
Now, the other way, here's another section of the 5 blue together. Here's another way we can do that if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to twist it after every single one.
Hi, Deb.
You can do 2 at a time.
I'm doing a final run through of a video before I download it and then upload it.
Green, here's the blue.
Then we'll sit and knit and talk to everybody.
2. And then we'll twist it.
And I gotta turn my screensaver off.
1, 2.
You know, that could be a power save mode.
Just 1, because that's the 5th one right there.
Just thinking this might be a power save thing plugged in. So we'll plug it in and see if that makes a distance.
Row 7 is done, and now we are on to row 8, which row 8 your working yarn is coming from peg 1 and you're working towards peg 47. Your first 5 and last 5 will be purl stitches, and the rest you'll be alternating your collars according to the chart. I really like using my KB rotating loom bottom, like the dolly part, to put other looms on. It's really nice, especially when I'm videoing. If I would have done that for this, it would have been a little easier. You'll be repeating row 7 through 18 6 times. This is what it looks like up on the graph part. You're repeating that 8 times. Get it worked up to your bind off section, and I'll show you how to get this off the loom. Our
3 minutes
super
left.
Stretchy bind off. Working yarn's coming from peg 1. You want to take and pull the working yarn down through the stitch on peg 2 and up through the stitch on peg 1. I'm just making sure that very last stitch there is locked in. But it's 2 steps for this bind off. Skip one down, back one up. That's how I remember it. Working yarn is coming from peg 1. You skip one peg. When I say skip one down, so you pull the working yarn down through the stitch on that peg. That's your skip one down. You go back one and pull the working yarn up through that stitch. That's your back one up. So skip one down, back one up. See, now your working yarn's coming from your 3rd peg. Skip one down, back one up. You don't have to, but I'm going to go ahead and pull the working yarn down that last peg just so that the yarn is on the very end. We can take this off the loom now. Oh, I love it. I really like how this turned out. You see how the ends are rolling? It's going to want to do that. So what you'll want to do is hand wash this and then lay it flat. You put something to hold this down while it dries flat. It'll hold its shape better. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. My email is in the description below, as well as, you know, right here.
It does have a lag.
Gmail, that's me. Questions, comments, all that, you know where to leave them. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this. I hope everybody has a fantastic
Sorry, TikTok
day.
or Instagram. There we go. My bad. Sorry. Oh, fantastic. So that's already saved. So now I gotta export it to the computer itself. 2-color plaid square, and this is the final one. I do a version without music and a version with music. Preset default device. No. 2-color plaid square. Fine. Keep duck. That y'all are not gonna want. How does this do? 3. Scene 1. And that can be minimized. Sleep mode. So give me no. Screensaver. Is it just I don't know. Oh, that's neat. Alright, YouTube, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out on here, but I'm actually gonna open up a video on a different spot. font so that like you guys don't need the screen. We're done with that. That way you guys can watch